ABC 10 News at 7 starts now.
San Diego County restaurants are once again serving people inside as we are officially in the red tier. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. This is the first time indoor dining has been allowed in 2021. Our ABC 10 News reporter John Horn is in the Gaslamp District where the doors are wide open to celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
The Gaslamp District starting to fill in for the St. Patty's Day celebration. People heading up and down Fifth Avenue, the Gaslamp District, people taking advantage of those outdoor parklets that restaurants have had out there since the summer to serve food outside and help deal with the pandemic. But the real change here in downtown and across the region is the fact that restaurants can now once again serve people indoors.
They're finally going to be able to enjoy all of this.
Dario Gallo played a key role in the design of Chivico by the Park in Bankers Hill. So not being able to serve people indoors took a toll.
That is a little more modern and contemporary, to make people feel good.
But where it really hurt, the bottom line. Coronavirus restrictions dropped the restaurant sales to about 65% of pre-pandemic levels. But a new hope Wednesday. The county back in the red tier, meaning restaurants can fill 25% of their dining rooms and bring people back to work.
Well, I'm the life of the party at Chivico.
Luca George Antonio is one of Chivico's servers. Stimulus, unemployment, and renting Airbnbs in Mexico helped get him through the worst of the shutdown order. So he couldn't be happier that indoor dining is back.
People are like, oh, finally, this thing is coming to an end. We can feel it. So we're excited. We're excited that we want to be ready when this happens.
County restaurants have cut about 40,000 jobs in the last year. Gallo says he hopes to hire 10 new people as things return to normal. John Horn, ABC 10 News.
Gyms can also reopen indoors at 10% capacity. 24-hour Fitness Balboa in Kearny Mesa was ready to welcome people back today. Gyms can bump up to 25% capacity when we eventually hit that orange tier.
Disneyland and California Adventure will finally reopen on April 30th. Disney made that announcement today. The parks will be limited to 15% capacity and indoor rides must stay closed. All visitors 3 and up will require a reservation, and events that draw large crowds, such as parades, will be off limits for now. There's also no indoor dining. The parks have been shut down since last March 14th. Downtown Disney reopened in July.
While some are slowly reopening in the red tier, that's not the case for one Chula Vista business. Play City in Eastlake is an indoor playground, and they have been closed for exactly a year. Under the current rules, indoor family entertainment centers can't reopen until we're in the yellow, least restrictive tier. While the PPP loans have helped, it won't last forever.
The most will be a couple of months, those 8 weeks. So that is why we have it as a target. After that, it's going to become very, very difficult to be able to open our doors.
Let's hope they can hang on. The marketing director says they are hopeful things will improve as more people get their vaccines. They hope to open before the loan money runs out, but there is no set date.
It's now been a year since many people went home from work and never returned. The last 12 months have been filled with anxiety for many. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala spoke with a San Diego psychologist about what we can do to bounce back.
I think we've seen a clear impact on mental health.
For an entire year, many San Diegans have faced overwhelming challenges. Health issues, isolation, virtual learning, closed businesses, unemployment, and loss of life.
My clinic is completely full for the first time ever.
Dr. Jill Stoddard is a licensed psychologist. She says she's seen an uptick in health-related worries, stress, and anxiety throughout this pandemic.
So there's worry about every little symptom. Is this COVID? I work in an anxiety clinic and we see primarily anxiety disorders, but we're also seeing a real uptick in depression symptoms.
She says 2 things that can trigger some of the worries are uncertainty and lack of control, some things that define 2020 for many. But with more people getting vaccinated and restrictions easing up, there is a path to healing.
It's really starting to re-engage in our lives as we would if we weren't feeling anxious or worried or scared.
Stoddard says important steps also include having self-compassion and finding a sense of community. The CDC lists scientists ways to cope with stress during this time, like consider limiting news to just a couple of times a day. The CDC says while it's good to be informed, hearing about the pandemic constantly can be upsetting. Disconnect from phone, TV, and computer screens for a while. Take care of your body. Make time to unwind. Connect with others. Talk about concerns and feelings with those you trust.
I really think that if we can all make it through this and, focus on trying to live our best lives as we go through this, we're going to bounce back.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
The county reported 411 new cases today and a test positivity rate of 3%. 8 more people have lost their life to COVID, bringing that number now to just under 3,500.
More than a dozen European countries have temporarily stopped using the AstraZeneca vaccine while they investigate reports of rare but serious blood clots. Our ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is going in depth for a look at how scientists will determine if the vaccine is to blame.
More than 17 million people in the UK and Europe have now gotten the AstraZeneca vaccine. And the company says a total of 37 people developed blood clots as of last week. A few of those cases resulted in death. So with the vaccine likely coming up for a review by the FDA in the next few weeks, should we be worried?
I think it's very, very unlikely that this vaccine is responsible for the clotting that's been seen in any respect.
Dr. Peter Chin-Hong is an infectious disease expert at UC San Francisco.
In fact, forming clots or thrombosis, as we say in medicine, it's not a vaccine thing, actually. It's not something we've seen historically with other vaccines.
Still, European regulators say they want to investigate as a precaution. They'll start by comparing the rate of clotting in vaccinated people to what's called the background rate. That's how often you'd expect blood clots in the general population. In the U.S., about 1,000 to 2,000 people get a blood clot every day for a variety of reasons.
When you're vaccinating literally millions of people, things are going to happen. People are going to die from other causes. People are going to have clots just like they would in the general population.
Dr. Christian Ramers of Family Health Centers of San Diego points out the rate of blood clots in people who got the AstraZeneca vaccine is much lower than you'd expect in the general population. But he says the numbers change slightly if you start looking at the exact type of blood clots. To give you a sense of just how slight we're talking, regulators are now focusing on 7 cases of a rare brain blood clot that popped up in Germany after 1.6 million people got vaccinated. The normal rate of that kind of blood clot is about 5 cases per million.
Regardless of how you slice and dice it, this is a very, very rare thing. And it's really difficult to disentangle what's background rate and what's vaccine associated with something so super rare.
Scientists will be reviewing each person's medical history for clues. In the meantime, dozens of countries are continuing to roll out the shots, including the UK, Canada, and Australia.
Overall, remember that you're having to balance risks and benefits. And there are still thousands of people in Europe dying in many, many countries in Europe where the surge is now recurring, actually.
This controversy over AstraZeneca could be settled soon. The European Medicines Agency is holding a meeting on this topic tomorrow. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
AstraZeneca is also facing pressure after a new study found it's just 10% effective against the South African variant. The vaccine not used in the U.S., but it's expected to go before the FDA here in the next few weeks.
The Del Mar vaccine superstation was closed for the first of 3 days today. Scripps Health, which runs the site, received less vaccine than expected. So the Del Mar Fairgrounds will be closed today, Friday, and Saturday. Affected appointments will be rescheduled. Stay on top of any new developments with coronavirus by downloading the 10 News app. A free version is available in the App Store.